Aiden halts, waiting for me to come to him. I leave Rahel behind and trot up to Aiden. We're just out of earshot of the Shaharan. What's with the attitude? I know you're in the military, but I don't see why you have to act like that around me. Aiden whirls around to face me. His face isn't his normal, placid one. It's angry. It's actually angry. Did you stop for 1 second and actually think what you're getting me into? I recoil. Aiden has never snapped at me before. He catches himself and takes a deep breath, continuing in a more civil tone. Never mind, I'm sorry. Hold up. What do you mean? What am I getting you into exactly? That boy is a prince. How did you know that? You knew? Yeah, he told me that. Aiden sighs. He mentioned that his brother was poisoned and you're asking for Aphrodite's eyes? I work under General Maris. I know very well what he did. It's fairly easy to piece together information. The task you're requesting, it isn't a small one. They may just be flowers, but what you're really asking for me is to betray Guadal by saving a Shaharan prince. If I am found out, the most lenient punishment I can get as a soldier of the kingdom is death. You asked me to do it, so I'll do it. However, that doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. My eyes widen as my face grows hot with shame. I really didn't think it through. No, you did not. I do want to help Rael, but if it gets Aiden in trouble, I barely registered tickling sensation of tears running down my cheeks. He steps closer to me and hugs me tight to him. I love you, Lore. You don't have to think about these feelings, but know that no matter what you do, I'll never hate you. I sob against his chest until I've cried enough. Rael waits impatiently further away, barely letting us have that moment. Aiden is the first to break away. He brushes my cheek and then turns to go once again. I choke down a last sob and call after him. This is actually really interesting. Oh my god. I shout. Wherever you do, make sure you come back. I love you too. Yeah. I don't have to see Aiden's face to know that he smiled. I just feel it. I know him that well anyway. I feel slightly better now. I know he won't do anything rash. He'll be okay, probably. He has never disobeyed my request before, rational or otherwise. I stare at his back until he's out of sight. Please don't get hurt, Aiden. No matter what, please don't get hurt. I find myself thinking those thoughts. It seems that this is the way we're always destined to depart. I wish that just once when he left, I wouldn't have to worry about him being hurt or killed. He's strong, I know it. Everyone tells me so, and upon occasion I've seen it for myself. But I worry. I always worry. I just hope to myself that Aiden doesn't blow away like the sand and become a mirage that I can no longer cling to. Rael approaches and puts a hand on my shoulder, squeezing it affectionately for a moment to offer up a small sort of comfort. It's time to go back. Alright. We ride back towards Shaharan in silence, each absorbed in our own thoughts. I think about Aiden some more, but eventually my mind slips back into thinking about Rael and his problem. I know he's worried for Rael like I'm worried about Aiden. I just hope that everything turns out alright. When we finally arrive, a new problem arises. It seems our arrival wasn't exactly as secret as we had hoped it would be. Dang on it. A group of Shaharans is lined up across the entrance to the city. It seems as if the whole village was awaiting our return. They all wear an angry expression, but the angriest one belongs to an old man who stares most intently at Rael. You disappointed me, Rael. It takes me a while, but I recall this voice. I never saw this man, but he is most definitely the one who was talking to Rael when I first came here to Shaharan. I do love that, apparently. This is no time for jokes. Do you realize what you have done? Yes, I do. I may have saved Ariel's life, Dad. Is that what the boy promised you? Some of those dreaded flowers? You are a bigger fool than I ever imagined. A fool? I'm a fool? Who really goes to their death attacking the Gradoans on suicide missions, all for the sake of avenging someone who isn't even dead yet? If you ask me, you're the stubborn fool, Father. Silence, child. No, I will not be quiet. Lore says he can get a hold of some Aphosate's eyes, and I believe him. Oh, you believe that Grandrian whelp? Did you fall for his pretty face, or were you just so enchanted by his offer that you forgot to use common sense? The situation would be laughable if it weren't such a serious offense. You don't know the first thing about lore, so don't just assume whatever you want. You think you know so much, don't you? Would you allow a wolf near a flock of sheep just because you don't know its individual intentions? You always sucked at metaphors, old man. I seriously doubt that antagonizing him will help the situation, but I guess it's not my place to say anything. That's beside the point. The boy is a Grandian, and he will always be a Grandian. His interest would be in Grandian affairs and not Rarel's issues. He may be Grandian, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't want to help out. If he did want to help, he wouldn't have even suggested the option. I could think of several reasons why he'd want to tell you that he could get his hands on some Aphosate's Aphosate's eyes. Perhaps he wanted to use you to get back to Gradoa. Maybe he's a spy and he wanted to relay information. He could. That's enough. Laura isn't like that. Yeah, he's just a merchant. The old man shakes his head disapprovingly. I get the feeling he's not going to listen to Ra-El much longer. Foolish boy. You've actually put your trust in the Grundon? I have a headache, and frankly, I really hate having this guy talk about me like that. Ra-El and the old man argue a little longer before I finally snap. Shut up, both of you. I'm tired of you two going on about my character when I'm right here. I can speak for myself. A hush descends upon the crowd of Shaharans. Rael looks confused when he looks at me. I wonder if he's thinking about all the things he said when he didn't think I understood a word of Shaharan. He might be a little hurt that I never told him, but how was I supposed to know it would turn out like this? Erg, that's no excuse. I probably should have told him when I started to trust him. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, Rael. Honestly, there's some truth to what your dad said. I kept it a secret because I thought I might learn something that would help me escape. I really was trying to get home. I still kinda am. See, I'm not finished. I am Grandon, but I don't agree with what General Maris did. Poisoning someone when they've come to establish a peace treaty seems low to me. I can't even really see a tactical reason behind it, except maybe to get a rise out of you Shaharans, which you've gladly compiled with. Rael's father is about to object, but I continue so that he can't get a word in. Look, King Carol, I don't really care about all the politics. The only reason I've even involved is because I want to do what I can for my brother. Because of that, I can understand Rael's feelings to some extent. I don't want to lose my brother, and I don't want Rael to lose his. That's why I want to help get the Aphosate's eyes. It's that simple. Another silence runs through the crowd as every Shaharan witnesses tries to decide for themselves if what I speak is true or not. Some retain their angry expressions, but even more seem to consider the possibility that I generally want to help Rael and his brother. Kural is the one I'm really trying to win over. I know my words don't exactly make up an award-winning speech, but I just hope that the truth of them got through to him. I stare him down, and I can practically see the wheels turning in his head. I'm with Lore, Father. I know you don't think highly of my opinions, but I beg you to trust me on this one. Perhaps I've been too hasty. So, you believe Lore? I don't know. I'm not as certain of his guilt anyway. However, I'm afraid it doesn't matter what I believe at this point. It's already too late. What? The conclusion of this argument was decided before you two came here. Ra-El's eyes narrow keenly. I suggest that he has a guess at what Karel is suggesting. I've already started the ritual to call the sacred sands. What? But that would... Why would you do that when Arel... You do realize that is a death sentence for him, don't you? I did not make the decision lightly. He's your son. I am king of Shaharans. I have a responsibility to my people, one that requires me to put the city's needs above my family and my own. That's bullshit. How dare you say that now when you marched your people out to Grendel for the simple sake of getting revenge for Arel? You are a bloody hypocrite. Karal raises his voice. It booms across the desert and a chill runs down my spine despite the heat. I will admit it was not the wisest idea, but those who went with me followed willingly, and there were always people back home that could continue our way of life. This matter is different. If the Granderons find this place, they will wipe it out. Such a blow would mean the end for Shaharans. When we found out that you left with the Granderon boy, I feared that you'd be bringing back the Granderon army, whether you meant to do so or not. So I began the ritual. The time for being selfish is over. I have performed my duty to Rahel, and it has cost me one of my sons. Don't you talk about Arel like he's already dead. He is dead. The sands will be there in 3 days. No miracle will happen in that short amount of time, so stop clinging to your childish hopes. Okay, so I thought he was speaking as if he was actually dead, so he's not dead. The fire just assumes that the guy's dead. Ra-El looks ready to attack Karal at any moment. He's trembling and his fists are clenched tight. We were supposed to get the Alphasite's eyes in 3 days. I don't really understand what's going on, but couldn't you hold whatever is going on just long enough for Rael to get back? It doesn't work like that, Lore. Once the initial ritual has begun, there's no stopping it. In 3 days, a sandstorm will surround our Rael. Nobody will be able to get in, and our Rael will be protected for 10 years. Wow. What? You can't be serious. That sounds like magic. It's impossible. What did you say? Nothing, Dad. I know it sounds crazy to you, Lord, but Rael is a special place. The crops grow despite being in the desert. The water's always plentiful on top of being crystal clear, and the people here hardly ever get sick. We can survive at this oasis precisely because of magic. You grew up in Grendel, which has very little magic, so it's not really strange that the idea that a powerful sandstorm could be conjured sounds crazy to you. But that, I don't. Where do I even start? How do you think that the location of Rahel has managed to stay a secret after all this time? It wasn't luck, it was magic. Every time we were close to being discovered, the chief would perform the ritual and summon a sandstorm that surrounds the city. They all last 10 years, and due to the magic of this land, we're able to survive, even when the sun and the moon are eclipsed by sand. There are numerous accounts of it in our library, and I suspect there might be information in Grendel text as well, though they will have only viewed it out as a large sandstorm. It's a phenomenon that I've even seen in my lifetime. I was 5 when the most recent sandstorm died out. So yes, I believe that the sandstorm will come again. Yes, I believe that Rael will be cut off from the world for another 10 years. And yes, I believe it will cost my brother his life. I see. Well, what if I left with Rael? I couldn't meet up with Aiden, and You wouldn't be able to see him for 10 years, but it's better than having Ariel die, right? Yeah. Yeah, we could do that, couldn't we? Dad, what if we sent Ariel off with Lore? Lore could get the flowers and... No. What? I'm not risking it. If that boy is caught, then he may spill the location of Ariel. How many times do I have to tell you? He wouldn't do that. Maybe I do believe that to an extent. But what if he was tortured? If the Grandons find him with Ariel, there would be questions. I'm not sure that this boy is so wrapped up in our affairs that he would stay quiet in such a situation. I guess I didn't really think that through either. Would I really endure torture just to keep my people away from the Shahurans? This boy does not really think that much. If I think about it realistically, I can't say that I would. I want to believe I would be capable of such a noble act, but honestly, I doubt it. I don't think anyone really knows what they'll do under the threat of torture until they've actually been through it themselves. Yeah, but... Well, I'm not letting the Guadon leave Rael. What? But I have to go back. I don't. You can't keep him here against his will. I won't let you. Rael makes a gesture to a large Shahuran man. He knees Rael in the stomach, and Rael doubles over. Make sure my son doesn't get into any more trouble. What a great father. The man nods and drags Rael away. Rael screams back at his father, but the man's strength proves too much for him. Now, will you surrender easily, or do I have to give you the same type of escort? I end up going along with Corral's easy way. If I resisted all, I'd end up with several bruises. I don't like just but I figure I have a better chance trying to escape later than putting up a fight right now. I've been locked away in a cell for a while. It isn't so bad, I guess. The guards are nice and they feed me well enough. It's not like they're trying to be mean. I do kind of understand their position. I haven't been able to see Rael. From what I hear, they've locked him up somewhere too. It's probably nicer than the cell. Pretty soon I won't be able to see Aiden either. Not for 10 years. There's little else to do, but think in this place. I think about both of them. Yeah, why not? My mind is turned between thinking about Aiden and Rael. The truth is, I care about both of them. Neither is more important than the other. I worry about how Rael is taking the news that Ariel is as good as dead. It has somehow become my concern as well, and I don't think that I could bear it if I had to see Rael grieve for his brother. I wish there was something more I could do for him, but I can't do anything in the cell. I can't even leave to be with Aiden. I don't even know if he's alright. Knowing him, he probably didn't get caught, but he's still depressed to think that now he's putting his life in danger to obtain flowers that won't do anyone any good. He'll be a mess without me, but I will get to see him in 10 years at least, right? I laugh bitterly. I guess I'll have the time to persuade the Shahurans to let me go when the sandstorm dies down. Prisoners aren't supposed to laugh, you know. I look up at the barred window and see a Shahuran girl's face. My name is Leah Rawl. You don't know me, but I'm a friend of Rael's. That's the best introduction I can give you. I'm afraid we need to move quickly. I hope you're good at lockpicking. And we're gonna stop here.